So after watching and enjoying hundreds of TED Talks, finally I'm here giving one. And the first thing that I'm going to ask from me is to travel back in time with me. And I'm not Dr. Strange, I'm not going to open a portal, right? But I'm just trying to help you imagine 18-year-old me bumping into Big Sean's One Man Can Change the World. And the song resonating with me because, I had millions of ideas in my head that I thought could serve the world and help me get rich. And now, if you fast forward to now, that is 8 years later, I can safely say that Big Sean was wrong. Solar effort did not seem to make that much of an impact. Of course, you can argue how, Ed Sheeran walks around the world, rocking stadiums as a one-man band. But can I ask you, can he do an orchestra like, Hans Zimmerman? You can't. So what I'm talking about is, as one man, what you can do is limited. So a bit about me. I've been very active in startup and innovation competitions for the past few years, and even winning a couple along the way. And when I was choosing my TEDx topic, there were 3 things that were on my mind. The first one was I wanted a front row TEDx seat, and the way to guarantee it was to actually become a speaker. Then secondly, it is a cool topic. People are always talking about innovation, startups all the time. And then lastly, collaboration and innovation speaks to everything that I stand for and believe in, which is bringing people together to make significant impacts in their communities. So today, I will be talking about innovation and collaboration and how these two can be the key to unlocking the potential for developing countries. Because I do believe that these two can be equated to modern day alchemy, right? And I feel I am the guy to talk about it because when it comes to this, I think I am the specialist in failure when it comes to coming up with startups. And if I were to actually put all the lessons that I've learned along the way, I think it would be something like the art of what not to do as a startup founder, right? So I love going back in time. I'm going to go back in time to 2019, and I'm participating in my first competition, which was the Hult Prize challenge with my friends. Yeah. And that year's challenge was to build a startup that improved the environment with each and every dollar that was generated. And for me, that was, a dream come true. I was saving the world and probably becoming a billionaire along the way. And I actually saw myself being the next Tony Stark. And there we were, 3 aspiring engineers out there to solve the world with no experience in pitch, coming up with the desk. And surprisingly, we actually did okay and qualified for the Tunis semifinals. And because we didn't have the support that we needed, we couldn't build the solution, right? And that was in 2019, before the COVID era. And then, boom, the COVID pandemic comes. Everything comes to a standstill, and people are now starting to adopt e-learning and, all those online platforms. And then as people were adopting, those solutions, they realized when it comes to e-learning, we had trouble, taking assessments or exams, which was the area that we were covering. And had we managed to actually build the project, we could have, saved the world, and I would have gotten my paycheck, right? So it takes a lot of support to build the next Tesla, the next Apple. Then fast forward to last year, I'm participating in the Walls Lab competition, and I have this idea where we use social media data to credit rate people, which would open, access to financial services for those who do not have collateral, who do not have banking history. And once again, never took off. The idea was there, build the prototype, but you can't start a microfinance business without any money. I mean, right. So I discovered that there are 4 people that you need. First, the people with ideas, the dreamers, the crazy ones, yeah. And then you need the people with the financial resources, with the access to actually make those ideas come true. Then thirdly, you need you, the customers, who are the backbone of any innovation system. Then finally, we need a group of people with access to all the other groups, right? Because without any ideas, no money, you cannot build a business. And without customers, it's just a side project, right? And usually, without customers, it's a loss. Then another thing that I've learned along the way is we have to add the art in STEM. Because for quite a while, the science guys who have been getting preferential treatment, I've been part of it. I did telecommunications. But what I've come to notice is, as condescending as we guys are, with the special guys, we suck at solving problems. And now more than ever, we need artistic ways of solving problems and having customers embrace our solutions. Come to think of it, chatbots, natural language processing algorithms, they've been here for quite a while. But it was when ChatGPT, it is some kind of artistic flavor by showing how we could generate a poem about maybe unicorns, fluffy dragons in the form of Shakespeare's verses, right? And I would bet that it wasn't an engineer's idea to do that. Because as an engineer, I was going to ask you to summarize maybe Kepler's laws, string theory, theory of relativity, boring stuff, right? So it is time for us, especially the innovators, let's try to connect to the artistic side, so that people actually get to embrace our solutions, right? And as a nation that is trying to build its economy, trying to move forward, education 5.0 and all, right? I think it is high time not only to, encourage art when it comes to innovation, but to actually embrace it, make it become part of us. STEM, it might make things work, but with STEAM, everything is more fun, it works better, and more interesting, right? Then the other day, I was sitting on my desktop, and I was comparing myself to my role models, Peter Thiel, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, and I was just thinking to myself, like, I've won more competition than some of them, right? But when it comes to impacts, none, right? I'm just a guy with ideas all the time. Then when it comes to startups, there are those that get rewards, and then there are those that actually get awards. And people tend to jump on ideas that have maybe won a competition or something because you think maybe, awards validate ideas. And half of the time, the awards, they're just talking awards with the judges biased towards, maybe who they know or what they know. And usually even heard maybe me pitching an idea, because sometimes I have to be a snake oil salesman just to sell an idea so that, I beg the prize money, I get the trophy, show it off on LinkedIn. So if there's an innovator out there that is in one competition, work to make a dream come true, claw for it to make it happen, because the true success when it comes to startup is you selling off your business for millions, billions of dollars, not collecting trophies, awards, same way Thanos was collecting Infinity Stones. Then another thing that I come across is entitlement, right? Because there was the time when I was thinking that, my ideas were worth millions of dollars, throw in the words like IP, patents, and all. So I expected, investors to run to me because I simply had an idea, right? But now I think I've been fed the humble pie a couple of times. And I would take maybe a few $1,000s for you to buy into my idea, right? So what I'm saying is, when it comes to innovations, the innovators tend to overvalue their ideas. And on the other side, we have a few investors that want to buy potentially lucrative ideas for cents simply because they have the money. I still remember at one time we were offered something like 1K for 25% equity for our idea. And 1K can only like register the company, no setup costs included. So the other time I was on YouTube and I came across Jay-Z's quote. I'm a reference, by the way. And he was saying something like, it is better for you to own 1% of $1 trillion company than to own 100% of nothing, right? And most of us, the innovators, would rather die with our ideas than to share some of the profits with someone else, especially people we don't know. And then you, the customers, super high expectations, expecting, free-to-use solution, military-grade technology, godspeed functionality in a developing country. I mean, it makes it hard for us, innovators, to actually build something or keep on running an upcoming startup. Then for the innovators, I keep on going back to the innovators because that is where I identify. The world owes you nothing. Don't expect handouts. Don't expect customer loyalty, right? And then coming back to you, the customers, I'm going to ask you to give us a chance, right? We cannot compete against the PayNows, the PayPals, the Microsofts. We're still starting, right? Give us, a fair chance. Try out our services and give us constructive criticism, and we will build what you need, right? Then another thing that I've learned along the way is it's not always about the money, because many times you see people just investing in cash cows instead of potential unicorns. Then the customer base that we have, loyal to his pockets, and that is how we end up, receiving the lowest quality of services because we pay cheap, right? Our goal should not be building startups that, that reach $1 million evaluations, but startup that actually brings millions of dollars in tax, right? And building such startups takes time, building on trust, and a customer that supports through fair compensation for services and constructive criticism. Collaboration and innovation is actually yielded results in other countries, Estonia, Rwanda, Ethiopia, and so many other countries around the world, right? And from my past experience in several programs that I've been part of, I believe in Zimbabwe we have what Jaffa would call diamonds in the rough, and they only need a little work to make them shine. And if you are going to spark an industrial revolution, it can make our communities a safer place and a better living place for everyone. And once we have a functioning startup environment, we can do, like, the sky is the limit. And now we're diving into space. We can even go beyond, explore the universes, the galaxies. So as I close my session, I just have to tell you that this is not a zero-sum game. If you are all willing to lose a little bit of something so that we all gain, we end up winning, all of us. But if we just want to be selfish and win on our own, then we are all going to lose. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of my presentation, and thank you very much for your time.